Hey, welcome to Dad Bods and Touchdowns post game Bears show. Um, Disappointing loss, definitely heartbreaking. I guess we can look at a lot of the upsides coming out of this. A lot closer, to be 100% honest, than what I thought. I At the end of the game, I was thinking we were going to win it. Uh, Block field goal obviously breaks those and breaks our hearts. There's some takeaways though from this. I will say this: I liked the way they started on offense, and what I mean by that is I think that bootleg set a good tone for that Bears offense, and it set a good tone to the Green Bay defense that it had more to watch for than what they have been doing the last few weeks. I thought Caleb Williams was really good today. I don't have anything really negative to say on that. I mean, he was what 23 of 31 for 231 yards, and he did get sacked 3 times. To be honest with you, those were not sacks from holding the ball too long. Those are sacks from a breakdown on our offensive line. Two of those were obviously that last possession that we had that they recovered nicely from. Like I said, I want to think of all the positive things that came out of this. I do think our defense has some questions still up front. We need to fix that. We can't stop the run. Eric, I know you're a little upset just like I am. What are some of the positive things that you actually took from this game, though?
I mean, if you come away from this game and not say this guy is a fucking winner, then I don't know what is wrong with you. He literally took that team and drove down the field when it was fourth and what 8 or whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, that just shows the heart of a winner. I mean, he had guys in his face and he just did it. That throw to Adunze is, I
Oh,
mean, that's probably the best
beautiful.
throw this year, honestly.
Yeah, I'd
That's a
agree.
great throw. I mean, I was so hyped. I was like, just run the ball, control the clock, and they did everything they could, and they just couldn't execute at the last play, and it is what it is. But you
Yeah.
can't come away as a Bears fan not excited for what you saw there.
Right.
If they can
Right.
hone on that specialness of him and develop that and build from that, I mean, we're going to be a great team in the future.
Right. No, I agree completely. I think that one thing that we can take away from this loss for sure is I'm not sold on the new OC. I'm not going to be this big homer. But what I will say is those tendencies that they had that made them predictable were not there today. I think the play
Right.
calls were benefited. It benefited who was on the field. The only time I really question it, I know we text back and forth during the game, is you you cannot run Swift north south, and I know you have to occasionally because if not, that breaks the integrity of what he's going to be doing. If you run him east west all the time, every time that he hits the field, that's going to be the vision of the linebackers. I get that. But Johnson is so solid running north south that you cannot not run him north south. And try to, I mean, if you have to put them both in the backfield, there has to be some solution there that really can make them deadly when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Johnson, what can you say really about him? I think as far as the
He's
running
a
back
tough
the
runner. I
Bears are
mean,
needing.
I like we said before in the last episode, it doesn't take a genius to figure out how to play the game. I mean, you use Johnson downfield, you break him down, and then you send in Swift to gash him, and that's what happened with that
Yeah.
long run, 39
Oh,
yard run by him. I mean,
man, what about
just
Jones? I
you
mean, we beat up on
gotta.
that line a lot, but what about Jones
I
on that
know he
play?
looked soft too, but that got me hyped. I mean, there's some plays where he looked terrible, but that
Yeah,
was nice to see from him.
that I mean, when it happened, you could actually hear it on the TV too. That hit from that block, and instantly I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's what you want to see. It just
Exactly. It's just, I mean, those throws. I mean, there's still a lot of work to do. A lot of, more team building as far as people need to be at the right place at the right time, and also just being sure you're mentally strong because there's a lot of mental mistakes in there. But I mean, some of the play calling, I mean, as far as ref calls were crazy to me, but it went both ways too. To be
Yeah. I
fair,
was gonna
we did
say,
get a few calls,
yeah,
but
I
it
agree.
just it was a good game. I just it's hard to be so happy, say a lot of things when you're that far away. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
just
it's heartbreaking, and I think right before we went on, we discussed about how he's usually money from that distance, and I have to be honest with you. Once I heard it's blocked, I turned my head. I know you said that it was pretty much a fingertip that caught it.
yeah, it
One
was
of
a
the
fingertip.
downfalls of when he kicks a field goal, and we discussed this, is that he has, I mean, Santos has a low trajectory, if I can say it right, of the ball whenever he's kicking from that distance. When he kicked the 53 yarder
No,
earlier, I mean, he just barely had the
it was
distance on
low.
that one,
It was low. Yeah, you're right.
So, I mean, that's one thing that maybe the Bears need to look at when it
No,
comes
I don't.
to
I don't.
the
I
off
don't.
season.
I don't think I don't put it on. I mean, Santos is really been solid. I mean, he's only missed two kicks, and if it's past 56, then I wouldn't do it with him, like you say. He doesn't really have that boot, but his accuracy is great. I mean, it's just the fact that Pryor let that guy get that inside pressure because he was right at
Yeah,
the snappers, inside there, and he got
yeah,
plenty of penetration, was able to get that arm up, and
gotcha.
I mean, it's just. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing you can really
I
say. Just it
I
happened.
agree. Santos is accurate. Okay, his leg definitely. He doesn't have a strong leg. We have to be honest with
No,
that one.
no, he's not.
And
He's
now,
no.
if 10 years ago in the league, enough power in his leg. Today's field goal
Right.
kickers. Let's be honest. A lot of those guys are kicking 55 plus and making them with plenty of distance to go. You know what I mean? There's a lot of
Right.
guys out there in the NFL that do that now. Um, so I guess accuracy is important, but we also need somebody that can make the distance too. Just my
No, I
thought
don't
process on
disagree.
that.
No, I agree, but it's hard for me to put it on him when he's been so good for us here, and
Right.
we had to go through that whole finding a kicker thing, which was crazy. But I
Right.
mean, whatever we got to do to improve. I mean, I'm just happy that we
I
showed
think
something, some kind of life.
Right. I think one of the biggest things that we need to look at when it comes to talking about improving is penalties. Penalties are killing us. I mean, killing us.
Hmm.
And when I'm talking pre-snap penalties, how many illegal motions do we have in the first
I
half?
know
I mean, one is too many, but
some of
let alone to
those.
have more than that. I'm trying to see. Let me take a look what the total penalties actually were for the team. I know they had four going into halftime. I think
Yeah, it
they
was
ended up with
something like that.
seven for 50 yards,
Yeah.
which it isn't good, but it's not bad. But it's the timing that they come. I mean, first down, you get hit with one that sets you back another 10 yards. Now you're first and 20, and I mean, it just they've got to start paying attention to the fine details now. I think that when it comes down to ultimately to the success of the Bears, I'm still not on the Flus train and will not be on the Flus train for the rest of the year.
No, I
I
agree.
think
I
it's time to
mean,
move on, but I mean,
yeah, I think they'll let him finish the year hopefully, and then hopefully we'll see some change. I
right.
mean, like I said, he's a good defensive coordinator, but, he is not the man to lead the pack. I think, and it's crazy. We only got one sack. We didn't get enough pressure on Love. We didn't see any kind of adjustment, but it's hard to say because they did hold him to that last play,
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
we have to see more to beat these kinds of teams, man, because we're not going to be able to compete with these teams, especially the Lions. You know what I mean? They just
Oh no.
destroyed the Jags,
Yeah,
or right? Is it the Jags? Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of like people like to say like the Cubs when they got John Madden. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Or is not is it John Madden? Is that
yeah.
his name?
Oh, Joe
Yeah.
Madden.
No,
Joe Madden.
Joe Madden. Yeah, when they got Joe
Yes.
Madden, they had a good coach, but they saw an upgrade and they took it, and it led them to win a World Series. So I think if we can have that opportunity, we should take it.
Yeah, but the thing is that to mention Joe Madden, the Cubs will never have another manager that wore such great Hawaiian shirts ever in their life. Just saying. But anyway,
I
back.
mean, hey, I'm just look at that sign behind me right there.
Yeah,
When's the last time you
yeah.
seen that?
You see
Okay,
this? The greatest hitter
so
ever in baseball, Frank Thomas, baby.
um,
But
but
now going into the
I think we could do that.
yeah, now going into the second half of that game, um, I think that look, sorry, I'm trying to read. Going for that 4th and 2, huge, 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 huge. And I'll be honest with you, when it
Yeah,
was 4th and 4, I texted you. I wish they would
yeah,
have gone for it. Don't. The only
yeah,
one that falls for that play for the snap is the freaking Bears. I mean, come on.
yeah, yeah. That's
So
true.
get up
That's true.
there. I would. Do you take it down to 2, then snap the ball so the defense isn't ready? Yeah, I mean, think about it. You got to think
You might
outside
as
the box.
try.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think. I think that even
I
if
mean,
you walk
honestly,
away with 3, you're in better position than you were not going for it. Just in my opinion. Just in my
yeah,
opinion.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I mean, I think he just had faith on the defense, but the fact that Caleb was like, "Let's go for it" on the 4th and 2, and he was the one that I feel like he made him do it because I didn't think he was going to do it to begin with, and then Caleb was like, "No, we're doing it," and they got it, which was great. It was great to see them get so many third down conversions. I mean,
Right, right.
it's nice to see a competent offense, and then it's just the big plays on defense that we allowed, and Johnson getting tripped up and letting Watson get that big catch, and
Yeah.
a few other plays where we could have done better.
And the thing is, when you compare stats, I mean, if it was a stats game, the Bears
The
wiped
Bears,
Green Bay
yeah,
all over
exactly,
today. They really did.
exactly,
They had well, for third down conversions, they were 9 of 16. Fourth down conversions, they were 3 of 3. They total yards 391 to the Packers 366. Um,
yep,
Overall, the Bears played a good game.
yep.
They failed when it mattered. When the game was on the line, they
And what does
something
that
went
fall on,
away.
Chad? What does
That
that
falls
fall
on your
on?
coaching. Your coaching, 100%.
Exactly, your head
Yeah,
coach. What
yeah,
what hap- What's our biggest problem?
yeah,
We
yeah.
always get out coached.
Now let me ask you
That
this:
always comes down to Eberflus.
we harp on it. I know we've harped on it in our post games. We've harped on it during our regular podcast, Friday podcast. What would you grade that offensive line this week, as far as how they did, considering Bates went out early?
I think that's average. I mean, that's league average there. They're not above average. I wouldn't say that at all, but they look
No,
better.
no,
I
I
mean,
agree. I agree. You still gave up 3 sacks.
I
I agree.
definitely, yeah, they gave up 3 sacks, but compared to what they did last week against the Patriots,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh
that's
God.
huge improvement,
Yeah.
And they blitzed, they did everything they could to stop Williams, and Williams stayed in the pocket and threw the ball. That
Yeah.
man never backed down from a throw, and I love to see that.
One of the stats that I seen come across is for the first half, the ball was in his hand an average of 2.01 seconds. So that's what you want. That's where you got to be. That is so quick, and it gives that defense no time. And if you're a defensive lineman and it's snap after snap after snap, the ball's out of there. I mean,
Yeah,
you start to slow down. You get frustrated with it. You have
exactly.
to. I would think.
Exactly. The 79 yards for 70 yards is huge for Williams.
Oh
If
yeah,
you don't
yeah,
see that and take a big thing, like I
yeah,
mean, overall we had 34 carries for 179 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean,
yeah.
you build
Absolutely.
off that offense. I mean, it's hard for me to be mad at the whole team. I just hate the situation. You know what I mean? Um,
Now, Jalen Johnson, 2 separate plays that he actually, to me, got beat very bad on. Obviously, the last possession for the Packers, Watson, you get their legs tangled up and he falls
yeah,
down. At that point in time, you
yeah,
can't look up. You got to get up and go. And it's
yeah,
almost like
yeah.
he was slow dragging his ass up, like, oh, okay, he's already down. Till you hear a
Yeah.
whistle, I mean,
No,
that
no.
starts in
I think he wasn't thinking.
Yeah, that starts
And you know that's
in
gonna
Pee Wee
happen.
football.
Nobody's tested him. Yeah, nobody's tested him in a bit.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? And that throw that he had to Gordon,
yeah,
where it was double coverage with Hicks and Gordon, that was a crazy catch and throw, man.
yeah. But
That's 101 there.
that's on that safety. That's on Gordon. That's on Gordon. You have to be quicker to make that. You know, you have to have that closing speed to be able to do that. One things that I've actually spoke highly on with
Yeah,
Jalen Johnson is being able to have that
yeah,
closing speed. Gordon didn't
yeah,
have that. Now I'm not gonna. I'll tell you right now. I'll take Gordon any day when it comes to safety.
yeah.
We've talked about it in previous podcasts about when he's in there,
He's a,
tackles are made. And
he's a good definitely a good. But he had a tackle for loss that was really nice.
yeah,
It just sucks, you know. If maybe if what's his name? I forget his name. Um, he just got an IR. What is his name?
Brisker,
Brisker
Brisker,
was back
yeah.
there. We would see a little bit more better defense. I mean, Hicks is not terrible for depth piece, but I think seeing him is a huge loss for us too. So,
Right, right. No, I agree. I agree completely.
but
Um,
I don't know.
Obviously, we're getting better than definitely last week.
Yeah,
I believe we have the Vikings next week. Is that right?
yeah. We have the Vikings and the Lions. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Vikings came out and they got a win today. From what I seem to be 100% honest with you, from what I caught, it wasn't anything that was like the Vikings to start the season again.
No,
So,
they're not. They're not what everybody thought they were going to be. They come back down to earth. I mean, they I think they still won, but they didn't look
right, yeah, they still won.
amazing.
But I think what it's going to come down to is consistency. Let's see how consistent the Bears can be because now you got to come out and prove that you can do it. I mean
There's a
that
controversial loss or a controversial play, I guess, where they didn't call something. I'm not too sure because I was watching the Bears game, but I know there's a crazy call in that game.
yeah.
Oh, the Jets
Well,
lost to the Colts. Oh, I did not see that.
I think I have not seen the final yet, but I got a feeling the Ravens were losing to the Steelers too.
Yep, the
So
Ravens lost Steelers 18-16.
yeah, I was
So
gonna say. No, today Darnold was actually Sam Darnold was 20 for 32 for 246 yards,
yeah,
two touchdowns. He was sacked twice. So Jones didn't have much for yards, and Jeffries had 81 yards. So that's what we're looking at next week. I don't feel. I'll be honest with you. I don't feel any more comfortable than I did last week after the Bears.
yeah.
Um, I still think that we're going to struggle to get one victory the rest
Yeah,
of the
I
season.
mean, I don't know what we do now, honestly. Just because, like you said, as long as we see improvement, I mean that's all we can ask for. I mean, as far as making the playoffs and stuff, I don't know how that's possible now. With
Yeah,
this win, we would have a better chance, but I don't know. After
yeah,
the loss, it's crazy.
yeah. I think we are going to end up where we predicted Minnesota to be, and that's at the bottom of the North. It sucks to be there again.
It's crazy how do you say how football can be just a game of inches, game of seconds. I mean,
Yeah, yep,
game of a
absolutely.
tip finger. You know what I mean? It's at fingertips is crazy. You know, just
Right, right. No,
yeah,
I agree. Um, Heartbreaking loss, but one that we can build off of and actually look at some positives. Last week, absolutely no positives whatsoever that I could pull from it. I don't think you could have either. I think we were both frustrated as hell last week. Um,
no, I
but
feel better than last week. I mean, it still sucks and it hurts, but
yeah, yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, as you
Uh,
said, we've had our heart broken so much. We expect this kind of shit, so it doesn't
yeah,
really matter after that.
Swift did have a good game though.
Swift had a
14
great game.
rushes, 71 yards, and a touchdown. Williams was 9 rushes for 70 yards.
Yeah,
Slowed down definitely in the second half. They did a better job of containing him, I think, in the pocket.
yeah.
Roshan Johnson, 10 rushes for 33 yards, just power back. Great to see him. Um, I mean, let's just hope and they continue to get better. As far as receiving, He did find Cole Kmet 3 times today. Good to
Yeah,
see
it was good
that.
to see that. I mean, he opens up so much, I think,
Yes, he
and
does.
then DJ looked a little bit less DJ isk with his mannerisms because he was getting the ball. And, like, I texted you, they're kind of using him like Debo kind of role, running
Yeah,
the ball and just in short stuff, which he has that ability as a runner, when
a
he
lot
gets
of
the ball.
strength.
Exactly. So I
Yeah,
like to see that they got a Swift, a few screen, or at least one screen in there. That was nice to see.
yeah,
I think that if they build off that run game with Johnson and Swift, I think they can do a lot more damage here next week. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how to explain Caleb. Caleb gets in that groove at the end of the game, and he has ice in his veins, man. He looks so. I
They're
wish the whole game he could look that way. Whatever they have to do to get that out of him
right.
that's what they need to find.
You know what I liked about him today? And actually, and I'm gonna give kudos to Fireflus. Um, when it was 4th and 2, and they wanted him to come off the field, and he's like, come on, let's
Yeah,
go for it, let's go for it." And they're
yeah,
like, "Okay, let's do it." You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
That reminds me of what, and he's not there yet. So, but what an Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes would look at their coach and say, "Let's go for this. We can get it." And the
yeah.
coach believed the fact that you can get it and believe in you. I think that does a
Agree.
lot for his mentality, his confidence, which has obviously been under question. So I love that part of the game. That might have been my favorite moment, is seeing him look over and be like, "Let's go for it. Come on, let's stay in here.
Do,
Let's go for it."
do you think it's a different game if they just go for the field goal instead of the 2 point conversion? I mean, we'd be tied right now.
Yeah, but
I mean, the numbers say, like they say, the numbers say is to go for that, and that it was
yeah,
there. Komet was open. He overthrew it.
yeah,
And that's just
yeah, yeah.
executing. So, but
I, I I don't fault Flus for going for two there. I
no, I
said
don't
I
either.
legitimately said you got to go for two,
I
and
agree. I agree with you.
and the metrics, like you said, they show that's the call to make. So,
No, I agree. Yeah.
all right, any closing comments for this post game?
Um,
Unfortunately, this Bears loss.
I like I said, I'm just happy we had some improvement. I mean, I hope we can build off this and Caleb continues to grow as a player. I want to hear these Jaden Daniel fans see what they have to say now after last game he played. I mean, I, I'm just saying you guys can't just rag on our player when they have the same numbers,
Yeah,
But
yep. In the last
um,
6 games, their numbers are almost identical, except for
yeah,
Williams' numbers are a little better, and that's even with having that piss poor game against the Patriots.
exactly. He got sacked like 9 times by the worst defense in the NFL, which is
Yeah, yeah.
just so stupid.
No, absolutely.
So I mean, real quick, what do you think if we just see Eberflus get fired after this game because they just had enough of losing? Do you think that could happen?
No, no, it's the Bears. Would I like that? I mean, obviously, I'm going to go back to what I said about Waldron. I don't like somebody getting fired. I don't want to come off as that asshole, but I'm a Bears fan. I want to see success, and it's been really
I
tough to
mean,
see.
at the
But
end of the
Bears don't fire head coaches during regular season.
yeah, at the
So
end of the day, this loss is on Flus, and
yeah, no, I
he
agree.
has to say it. He
I
has to say
agree.
it. This is on me, and
Yeah,
But
I mean, he
I like
calls
you
the
said
defense. You can't blame it on the offense today.
no, the offense gave you 19 points. Your
Yeah,
defense just couldn't hold up at the end of the.
right,
So
right. The offense put you in position to win, and that's all you can ask them to do, is put you in that position to win.
I
And
mean, that's the first time I've seen them get gashed for two big throws.
yeah,
You
that
know,
was bad. That was bad. But all right, all I'm gonna say in closing is, at least we got a little a little bit to look forward to. It sucks to lose as a fan, but when you can take a little bit of light from the candle, we need to take it and enjoy what we can out of it. Like you said, we're definitely not playoff bound.
no.
Unfortunately, Bears do not fire coaches. during season. They do it after the season. I wish they would just get people clicking in the right set of mind and start that search for your head coach now instead of later. So, all right. We're saying that. We appreciate you for listening. Any suggestions, comments you have, please leave them in the comment section or reach out to us, email us. Check the email once a day. Uh, check us out on TikTok and on Instagram. We are there. We're saying that. Bear down. Go Bears.